And hi, welcome back. So, as we start back off here, we were going to take a look at poor Yakim. He, at the end of our last, well, not even at the end, still captive, held underneath a hidden base somewhere. Or slavers. We have found that the not symbiote, damn. I had this word, I'd forgotten it after the last session, and now I can't remember it again. Parasite. Parasite. Now that the parasite has been removed, Yakim finds himself under control of both someone they call the Kennel Master, who maintains these slave races for these Bluegort themselves before they can be shipped back, or maybe even just experimented on, and then handed over almost like just a small pet. Yakim came under control of a new race that he hadn't encountered before, the Kitani, and specifically one Kitani, an apparent engineer, mad scientist, we're not quite sure yet, who wanted to experiment on him. He spoke much about their understanding of the juicer augmentation as it is, but also he expressed a couple of kind of pieces of disgust. One, why would you do this to your souls? And then two, you wouldn't survive. You would kill yourself if you were detoxed. Yakim seemingly took both of these a little bit to heart. But as the experiments continued, eventually the Kitani, we found his name. Did I put it on the character list? Well, I mean, obviously we're going to have to add that. So we're going to add... I'm pretty sure we named him... Talia. Alright, Talia. Kitani scientist. He brought a weapon over to Yakim, confused, unarmed, pretty much just wearing rags and scraps. Talia offered him one of the Kitani laser rifles, and shocked, Yakim picks it up, looks it over, doesn't quite understand what the game is here. And then Talia points to a person strapped at the end of a small firing range and informs him, I need you to shoot him. So we're going to start off coming in to find out. See, we've got a chaos factor of 8. And so we're going to do... Let's take a look. Scene alteration, chaos factor of 8. It's an interrupted event. What happens? NPC action. Neglect. Vice. Okay. NPC action. Well, I guess we're going to have to roll on the characters, because... What does that even mean? Julian the First. Okay. Julian the First, NPC action, neglect advice. See, that doesn't make any sense. Julian's nowhere near here. At least as far as we're aware. So I'm going to take that one back. I don't believe this has anything to do with Julian. Instead, I think this is probably going to be... I'm going to ask the fate question then. Is the interruption due to the... I'm going to ask if the interruption is due to the Splugort slaver returning, and this is the one that had kidnapped Yakim. Yes, it is. Okay. So now let's look at an action meaning. Decrease. Interior. Okay. Okay. I'm starting to get an idea here. As Yakeem is presented with this energy rifle, the Katani looks at him kind of expectantly. And just as he does, he sees the creature that had captured him coming down the steps, hovering in this massive platform, this combination of biomechanical and just fused to the machinery. The thing begins to float, and Yakeem is filled with just overwhelming sense of disgust. Um, he takes a look at this creature, and this fear and concern, everything else that's going on, I think Yakeem is going to try to take a shot at the slaver. So let's take a look here. Get it to the actual Savage World sheet. All right. We are going to give Yakeem, let's see, I'm going to start with an agility check, D12 versus the D10 of this Blue Gore Slaver. So, Yakeem, and now you notice I'm going to use physical dice here because this is way more fun. So that is a 9. This Blue Gorth, as we said, has a D10. He rolled a 7. So, Yakeem is going to take his shot. This Blue Gorth is not quite sure what's going on. Yakeem, though, recognizing, of course, a chance like this to try to take down some disgusting slaver creature like this, he's not going to pass it up. It's a 5 and a 5. Now this gun actually gets a +1 due to the scope. So that's going to be a hit. Just make sure. No dodge. He does have danger sense. Not covered by supplies. Sniper shot. Danger sense can notice roll a -2 to detect the hazard and take appropriate action. So he's going to get his D8. This is a -2. Nope. Does not see it in time. Surprised, the creature floats down, and then suddenly there is just the sound of a. Well, there's no sound, of course. Never mind. But Yakeem doesn't hesitate. He turns and fires, pulls the trigger. We already made his shooting roll. Now let's take a look. What is the damage on this thing? 46 armor piercing 2. Now the question here, I'm pretty sure Yakeem gets the drop on him, being that he was not prepared for it. This was an attack and it makes his notice roll. The foe doesn't get the drop on him. No. So Yakeem, just to make sure, we go over to what is the drop. Getting the drop on somebody. That's +4 to the attack, so that actually makes it a hit with a raise. And it adds, so it's going to add it's going to be 5d6 damage, and it's going to add +4 to the damage roll. Alright, so we've got 10, 17, 23, 24, plus 4 is 28. Toughness of 2, so any armor piercing, 2. So toughness comes down to 30, but that's not enough. As the laser goes off, there's a green light that comes out instead of the pale red that we're kind of accustomed to. And it patterns against the outside of the shielding. The Splugor slaver himself seems a little shocked that Slave just took a shot at him. And let's see here. Kind of cocky that that such a thing would even happen. He is... yeah, he's going to cast Deflection. Okay, interesting. It says he doesn't have, but I know that they do. Is it due to... Arcane background? Well, whatever. His spell casting is a D10. So that's with a success and a raise. And now Deflection. -2 against... -2 against all attacks against him. So Splugorth immediately puts up an additional shield. It seems to pattern and echo and makes it a little bit more difficult to actually see the Splugorth on the other side of it. But as he begins to bark out some orders, some of the warrior women come over, and the Kitani, Talia, or what do we call him? Talia. Talia sees this. He activates a button on his side, and Yakeem needs to make a vigor roll and -2. So, okay, so it's 5 success. So he is only stunned. He is not incapacitated. And as he goes down shaking, the gun is taken from his hands. The creature backhands him and goes, I have clearly... that was not a wise choice of me to take your Zombatron off so quickly. We are going to rectify that. As he comes back over, and a question. Now, this is kind of a question that I was thinking about. I haven't found anything in any of the books. But does the juicer augmentation reduce Splugorth? What parasites? I'm going to say it's nearly impossible. That is... no, it does not. And so, for an additional time, as Yakeem slowly staggers to get back up, he feels this crawling sensation on the back of his neck. And suddenly his mind goes a little out of it, a little blissful. And he quickly just... his mind tries to kind of take control. And as the parasite begins to just kind of like prevent him from actually even thinking straight again, he just kind of, okay, I'll do what you say. The gun drops, just kind of like limply from his hands, and he pretty much just fades out. And so, I mean, damn, he took a shot. It wasn't enough, but he didn't hesitate. I like that. And because of that, I'm going to drop the chaos factor down a little bit. Now, it doesn't make it easier. He's still going to have like a lot of goddamn issues. But I don't really foresee him not having these issues, if that makes sense. So, a couple days pass. I'll go back to the scene alteration. Scene proceeds normally. Yakeem, though, as he kind of has another just slow, I just don't know. Can I have something to eat? And eventually the Talier comes back over. He goes, I hate how long it takes for these things to absolve themselves from the bloodstream. You'll be slowly coming back around. You just ate. He goes, what? And as he looks down, there's an empty metal platter in front of him. Some kind of almost like pale pink going onto gray paste is right there in front of him. A spoon laid over to the side. As he kind of blinks it away, he goes, oh man, fuck, I hate this shit. Why do you keep putting this fucking thing on me? He goes, well, it's primarily because you are disobedient. You have headstrong tendencies, and quite frankly, you are more than likely going to try to murder everybody in here. So we have to keep control over you. Yakeem just, well, here's the thing, man. You would too, especially if I kept putting a fucking creepy colored bug on the back of your neck. He goes, no, that's fair. And I would. I would absolutely kill all of you. But that's not likely. Humankind. You don't have the gumption for it. Because I've met some kind that absolutely would. And the Kitani comes over. And he leans close. He goes, yes, tell me about your people. He goes, they're not my people, man. I'm talking about the fucking coalition states. He goes, yeah, well, yeah, those are your people. That's what I'm referring to. He goes, they're not my people, man. I don't belong to them. He goes, they're human. Well, yeah, but that's like two different kinds of dogs, man, fighting over the same bone. He goes, this doesn't make sense to me. I have heard that there has been wars and infighting between your various clans, but surely that for the sake and safety of the entire planet, you all come together. Because you haven't been here long, have you? Well, actually, I've been here for at least 2 full solar cycles. But this is my first time off of the continent. So this is unique, and I'm finding this fascinating. So why don't you tell me all about your clan's plans, the tribe, and what you intend to, do once you have conquered everything? He goes, you keep saying this we shit, man. Like, we're not doing this. I mean, the coalition, they fuck things up. They just kind of like drag their asshole all over the country and then just tell us what they're trying to do, but that's not really fair, and that's not us. And the Kitani looks at him and goes, well then, tell me about your tribe. Who is the us here? He goes, oh, well I guess, you're kind of talking about the JAP. I assume so, if that's what you mean. Yes. Yes, or the JAL. Yeah, it's kind of a hodgepodge band, man. Like, I don't even think they know that I'm gone. He goes, well, it's unfortunate for you, but that's for all of us involved. I would hate to have to kill them too. Yeah, good luck with that. I think Julian could probably tear open the doors on his own. Fascinating. And begin scribbling this down onto a pad in front of him. And Yakeem just kind of looks around again, still blinking away some of the zombie effects. He goes, oh, I just want to know, man. I'm not trying to use this information or anything, but where the fuck are we? He goes, well, We are buried right now beneath a small snaking river that feeds up to a tributary that goes out to one of the larger lakes that goes out into a massive gulf that goes into an ocean. He goes, that fucking tells me absolutely nothing, man. Like, do you know what state we're in? The Katani looks around. This question perplexes me. What does state mean? Like, you are coming off of the post-Omicron inebriation caused by your augmentation process. I am perfectly sober right now. He goes, fuck off, man. That's not what I'm talking about. Okay, do you know the name of the territory we're in? Like where we are above ground in relation to where we're supposed to be? He goes, no. And I don't frankly care. If you guys have territories, that is your issue, not mine. Okay, you're fucking helpful. He goes, well, you are not right now, so I need you to come back with me. We are still going to be testing some of these augmentations of yours. Fuck. All right. As he comes back, they go into a larger area, and there is. Let's ask a question here. What kind of person? Characters, personalities. I'm trying to think of what would be a good one here. Traits and flaws. Object. Strong. Object strong. So let's take a look at skills. I have kind of an idea, but I don't know what it's going to mean yet. Criminal bestow, object strong. So as a yeah, I like this. Another one of those is what I was thinking of. I'd have to go and find the book to figure out what the NPC is. But as Yakin comes over, there's a young woman dressed in tattered robes too, but the remnants of attached armor still kind of like show that she was at least prepared for survival in the wilderness. But she has kind of like a quick, almost like darting of her eyes. She's a little paranoid, not entirely sure what's going on. And Yakim sees her, looks her up and down, goes, "Hey, I got you here too." Where are we? What is going on here? I do not understand this, and I do not wish to be here anymore. Can you get me out? Do you know what's going on? And Talia taps a button, and she suddenly stops. I'm like, oh, that hurts. Oh, fuck. Tell him to stop. Tell him to stop. I'll behave. Yakim goes, hey, no, she's fucking complying, man. Just let her go. And Talia looks over at Yakim, doesn't break eye contact, but then slowly lets go of the button. He goes, I'm releasing this button because I choose to, not because you have told me to. He goes, whatever, man, just don't fucking torture her. And he pushes the button again for a brief second. He goes, that was a lesson to you. That was fucked up, man. He goes, that doesn't matter. He looks over to the young woman. He goes, so your transplant has taken, I take it. She goes, I don't want to talk about that. That's fucked up. No. I don't know what you did to me. And he reaches over, and let's take a look here. What kind of equipment are we talking about now? And I'm going to ask a fake question. Talia team with someone invented by a symbiote. Oh yeah. I'm just saying 38, yes. So there, as he kind of takes a better look at this woman, with the armor panels removed and everything, the mostly black clothes they fit loosely on her. They drape, um, but she has broad shoulders, like a muscular frame. Um, but as he, I'm going to give him a notice roll. Notices at d6. All right. Notice roll 5 and a 4. He notices that there is a shift under her clothes, as though there is something moving of its own volition. And he goes, "Oh, what the fuck? You okay?" The girl goes, "I don't know what they did. They, there's something on my chest, and I can't get it to go away." And no, fuck you mean? There's something on your chest. What did they do? She goes, "No, no, no, no. It's not what they did. They they put something on me. It, it's disgusting, and I don't know what it's doing to me. Can you get it off?" And as he kind of looks around, trying to figure out what's going on, Talia comes back with two swords. Uh, he hands one over to Yakim, hands one over to the girl, and just, okay. The rules of this fight are simple. These weapons are not powered. They've been disabled, but they will still function as sharpened steel weapons. And I expect you to fight to first blood. Now, both of you have enhanced healing abilities, so I expect you to be able to burn those to keep yourselves alive. He goes, "You want me to use my biocomp to keep going? Is that what you're trying to tell me right now?" He goes, "I don't care what you have to do or what you call it. You need to stay alive, stay awake, keep fighting until I tell you to stop. I will not let you kill each other, so do not worry about that." And he finally just kind of steps away. He goes, "Well, begin." And so we are going to delete some of this stuff that had been taken away from him. And Yakim picks up this long sword. I'm going to... Yeah, okay. So we are going to go right into... No, I'm not going to do an initiative roll. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have Yakim fight against somebody who is very similarly armed. That is a 5 and a 2. So he rolls a 5. She 4 and a 10. Okay, so she's going to go first. He's got a fighting of D8. I'm going to give her the same. And as she comes up, she holds a sword. It's kind of awkward in her hands. And so I'm going to give her a -2 on this. And as she comes like, I don't understand what's going on, but I'm so sorry about this. I'm so sorry. And she swings at Yakim. He's got a parry of 6. That is a 7 minus 2. That's a 5. He ducks underneath. The swing comes just over his head, and he steps back a little bit, brandishing his sword automatically into like a fencer's pose. Or not even a fencer's pose. Like maybe he's not actually a fencer, but at least in a defensive, ready to attack from all ranged attacks. Let's dodge. I just want to check. Reflexes. Nope, it's uncanny reflexes. -2 to hit. Yep, okay. So it's on melee, it's -2 to hit, and he's got a parry of 6. Yakim comes up, and on a return swing, he's going to, I mean, first off, he's not going to try to actually hurt her. I'm going to give her a similar parry of 6. Okay, that hits. So a longsword is a D8 plus strength, and its strength is a D10. I realize I don't have the dice camera on. So 4 total. Excuse me. He comes back and he tries to pull his punch, Let's see something here. Does Talia notice Yakin his punches? We'll say this is actually kind of likely. Yeah, he sees it, and he immediately goes to press a button just briefly. We're going to give him a vigor check at -2. That blows up. That blows up again. Okay. The tase goes off, and Yakim, though, stands his ground just... Ugh, fucking hate that thing, man. Goes, well, it's not designed to be pleasant. Fight, but do not expect to kill you again. So we come over to the next round. The gal who Yakim is fighting against she begins to sob a little bit, and then she swings again. It's a 4 and a 4. That misses. Yakim tries to come around again. This time he's not going to pull his punches, but he is still trying to go non-lethal. A 3 and a 1. Oof, that sucks. You know what? Yeah, he's going to throw burn die into this. 3. Oh, fuck, Yakim. So, Yakim's burn die goes down again. He is now at a 2 burn left, but now his burn die goes up to a D10. Oof. But as he swings, it's not quite enough to connect. And he suddenly gets a rush. There is a heat under his skin. It begins to burn just behind his eyes. He feels flush come up through his face. He tries to shake. He's like, no. This is too early. I can't go out now. He goes, fuck. Get yourself together. And he slaps himself across the face. The girl just stops. She's like, what are you doing? Just fight. She comes around, tries to catch him again, but misses. It's a 3 and 3, that misses as well. This battle goes back and forth. The two of them not really wanting to hurt each other, but Yakim finally catches with a solid blow with the 6. Strength and 1 and a 2, but it's obvious he is pulling his punches. Can you give him another? He suddenly stops and is as the tase goes off again. The girl comes up. He loses his -2 to hit. She's actually going to take this. I'm going to say he's distracted or vulnerable. So this is going to be a +2. That is an 8. And now 8 points. He is, yeah. It cracks him across the back. The blade doesn't quite cause enough to burst or break the skin, I'm sorry. But he is now shaken. He's going to try to make a spirit check. Fails. And she's going to come at him again. Blows up. It's an 11, so it's a hit with a raise. So now it is D8, D10, and a D6. So that is 9, 15. This blows up. 15, 20. Okay, so it's 20 over 8 is 3 wounds, right? 12, yeah. It's 3 wounds. As he is doubled over, I'm going to definitely spend one of his pennies. He's going to take a vigor check to try to soak 3 wounds worth. Okay, so that blows up. So it's 2 wounds. That blows up again. He soaks all of them and becomes unshaken, just at the cost of a single penny. For 1 penny a day, you two can keep Yakim alive. And now we're going to come back around the other side. Yakim, 4. That's not quite enough. Now that he's aware and back up on his feet, misses the swing against Jakeem, but he comes around with the 6. He catches her. Fury is beginning to grow and build, and he just still cannot seem to really pull the punch or stop from pulling the punches. This woman seems innocent. He's not quite sure what's going on. And while he is trying to put on a good show, I'm going to give him, let's see, intimidation, persuasion. Yeah, this is going to be a D4 minus 2 as he tries to put on a performance. So, D4. Oh, those both blow up. Okay, so that's 9 minus 2 is a 7 total. He starts putting on a performance, and I'm going to say that Talia can't tell now that he's pulling his punches. He comes around again. Oh, snake eyes. I'm going to say he becomes vulnerable as the girl. Let's see, that is, it's a straight 3. That's not enough. He shakes off the vulnerability, swings again. 2 and 4. These two just keep fighting back and forth. That's 6. 11. That's a hit with a raise. Let's see if she actually does something this time. 8. 10. So he is now shaken again. We'll give him his vigor roll. And he unshakes. As this fight comes back and forth, the movement underneath her shirt just becomes a little bit more insistent. And there's an animalistic growl that's starting to fill the air. He swings. She is too fast. And as the momentum comes back around, oh my god. She gets a +2. It's caught. Nope. Come on, Yakeem. Do something. One of you two do something. There we go. She manages to catch him again. That's a hit with a raise. Oh, it's damage with a raise, right? 11, toughness of 8. No, actually, it's not. And let's just switch to these dice. There we go. He catches her. The sword, as he tries to drive to see what's underneath her shirt. That sounded a little dirty. Not quite what I meant. He actually can't seem to even get enough purchase. The heavier skin on this person, it's just enough to kind of keep him at bay. Here we go. 8. All right, 9 with a raise. So Jesus. Oh. They battle back and forth. I'm going to give them one contested fighting roll because this back and forth is a little too much, but Yakeem is a little shocked. Oh, there we go. Yakeem 8. It's a 15. She's got to beat a 15. No, she gets 9. The fight goes back and forth. The sound eventually starts filling the air of this steel-on-steel combat. And he seems shocked at the speed and ferocity of the way that she fights. It's not like a juicer. Juicer moves with kind of like that hummingbird quickness. And instead, it's more of just brute force. It is an animalistic attempt to overwhelm the opponent. The strength that comes from her arms, despite how she seems to have some like ropey muscles, but he seems shocked at how quickly when the blade comes down, he has to move with full force to parry it. And it's there, he takes an opportunity, a heavy slash across her chest to see if he can get whatever may be on her off. The shirt opens up, and instead of any form of human ribcage, instead there is what looks like a giant crab. It's 8 arms just wrapped around where her rib cage is. They cover pretty much from just below the clavicle, underneath her arms. They puncture into her back, where these heavy claws dig in, and where the claws touch the skin, instead there's almost burnt flesh from where this creature is attaching itself all the way down to the blood vessels. As it's aware it's now exposed to the air, in the middle of the crab's back, instead there is a giant, powerful jaw and a long, almost leech-like tongue that suddenly flails out. Yakeem needs to make a horror check, so this is going to be his spirit, which is a D8. Okay, that blows up. So the good news is Yakeem does not die of a heart attack, um, but the sword suddenly comes back and goes, "What the fuck? The fuck did you do to her? What is this?" And Talia just continues making his notes. The young woman begins to cry. She's like, "I don't know what it is. I don't know what they did to me, but it's talking to me." And then Talier's, the only sound we hear is that continuous just as he continues his notes on this pad. So we will end our session there tonight. I'm going to say, given that he did eventually win the fight, the chaos factor goes down, and we're going to need to come up with a new name for this gal, because she may be another NPC that we need. But yeah, the symbiotes are just as scary as the actual parasites in this game. As soon as we got into the Atlantis stuff, things got tough. Things can get real tough. I thought there was a name. Oceans, gods, sensory names. What? Did I click the wrong one? Action Raw. Action Raw? That doesn't make any sense. What is an action that we could... What is an action that is a fairly common name? Jump, no. An action. I'll have to think of this a little bit, but if you have any ideas, feel free to drop them in chat. Send them to me over Mastodon. You can reach me at Esquire the Duke at mastodon.social. You can contact us through Patreon. You can join for free, or you can become one of our juicers for $5 a month, which will grant you access to special features on our Discord server. And when I get to the point of recording and having a backlog of episodes again, advanced access to those episodes. Plus, my eternal dying gratitude for helping me pay for these things. You can send me messages through here on Twitch, twitch.tv/Esquire the Duke. Or just, if you really need to, whisper it into the void, and eventually it'll come to me through a rift. But with that, I wish you all a good night.